Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn how to make this kind of design inside NX. Now, the way of creating the design will be more or less same in any software if you are using. If you are using Creo, if you are using SolidWorks, if you are using NX, the procedure is going to remain the same because we'll be using most of the basic tools like extrude, revolve, etc. Okay, and even fillet and all those things. Now, before we start with the drawing, I want you to have a brief look at how the drawing looks and just try to have a look at what kind of dimensions do we have here, okay, and how we can actually make the drawing. You can even pause the video over here, right over here, to see a proper view of how the dimensions are, because I have made this drawing a couple of times, so I know what dimensions are where and how exactly I'm going to use it. So let us start with the creation of this design. If you have briefly understood the drawing itself, now, as we can see over here, let me give you my understanding about the drawing. We can see it's a part, like it's more or less like a sheet metal component, like the way which we have completed in the previous session. If you haven't watched that, I'll be linking that in the I button over there. You can go and you can watch that particular video as well. Now, here in this particular part, you can see there is a small section. The thickness of this particular part is not given, so we are going to assume it like to 5 mm or 6 mm or 3 mm, whatever you want to like you can assume the thickness. Now, other than that, we can see it's a hollow part, okay, and the sides what we can see is flared by 12 degree, like they are not straight, they are at an angle of 12 degree. And other than that, we have a flange kind of thing going on all around, okay, like flange kind of thing, or an extra recess is coming out of this, and that is of 12 mm thick, okay. So let us try to make this one. And as you can see, most of the information is given over here on the right side view, so we'll be starting with that view itself. So here I'm going to create a sketch, okay, on the front plane or on the right plane, whichever you say it like. Now here I'm going to start with a vertical line, okay, a small vertical line. So consider this is the line which I'm going to make, okay, the inner one, not the outer one, the inner one. Now I can understand the overall height of this geometry is 150 and plus the extra recess part, so I'm going to define the height over here as 150. So here I'm going to define the height as 150, and now a vertical line of 150 has been defined. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create this entire profile. So here I can see there is a horizontal line. Then we have an angular line, again an angular line, and the angle is 50 and 150 degrees. So let us try to make that. So here I am creating a horizontal line, then an angular line, and again an angular line. And here the angle is going to be 150. And here the angle between these two lines is going to be 50. So I've just completed the angles itself. Okay, so as you can clearly see over here, the angle between these two lines is 50 and the angle between these two lines is 150. Now here I can also define the overall length, that is from here to here, as 135. So here I'm defining the overall length from here to here as 135. Okay, so overall length has been now updated and now defined, and we can also see the height over here is 112. So let us do that as well. So from this point till here, the height is going to be 112, and I hope this should fully define the particular object what we are trying to create. Now, yet we have to define some other dimensions and other things, which we will have a look at those things after some time. Now, what I'm going to do next is here, this particular point is having a distance of 90. So let us define that dimension as well. So in rapid dimension, I'm going to define the dimension from this point till this point. This gap is of 90. Okay, so here all the things looks correct, 112. Then you have a dimension of 90 over here. Then here using the line itself, I'm going to create an angular line, again an angular line, and then I'm going to touch it over here, making sure that the bottom line is going to be horizontal. Now this is the only sketch which is complicated. Other than this, all the sketches are pretty easy and pretty simple to create. Now this particular height is going to be 69 and the angle over here is 20 and 55, as we can clearly see. So we have an angle over here of 20 and here of 55. So here I'll first define the height of 69. Then I'll define the angle between this and the bottom line itself. Over here the exterior angle is going to be 55, and the angle from here, from this line to this line, is going to be 20 degree. Now as you define all the values, okay, the sketch should look fully constrained. I'll just check the values once again. 69 is for the center of the hole, so here it is 56. So I'll just change the value. In place of 69, I'll make it 56. Okay, so I'm done with my sketch. I'll click on finish. Now I need to understand, if I want to extrude this, how much I should extrude it. So here I can clearly see the extruded value stands at 80 mm. Okay, so here what I'm going to do next is, here I'm going to type 80. I don't want to extrude only in one side, so I'll choose symmetry. If you're using older version of NX, you can type 40 and choose symmetry. Because right now in my version of NX, it is 80 means the total value, the total length itself. Now here I'll click OK, and now the total length has been set. Now I can hide my sketch itself so that we can see clearly how the body is going to look like. And the last magical command which we are going to use just to remind you will be the shell command itself. Okay. Now what we are going to do over here is we are going to add some fillets. For example, here we have a fillet of radius 25. We are going to assume that the fillet of radius 25 is also applied over here. Then we have a fillet of radius 40 and a fillet of radius 30. So let us try applying that. So here I am going for edgeblend command. And as you remember, I need to set the value first. So here I am going to set the value of 25. And if you by mistakenly made a wrong selection, just press shift and deselect it. So here I'm going to select these two edges with a radius of 25. Then I'm going to click on the add button, add this one with a radius value of 40. Then I'm going to again click on the add button and add this one with a radius value of 30. So here I have created all the fillets which were necessary. So once all the fillets are ready, the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some draft, because these two sides are not going to be flat. Now to add a draft, I can simply click on this option called draft. Now I'll just reset the command so that for all of us the command remains the same. The default vector is going to be the z-axis and I'm going to keep it that way. Now here in stationary face, I'm going to change the selection rule to single face and I'm going to select the top face itself. And here in face to draft, here I'm going to select single faces and I'm going to select the left side face and the right side face in order to draft the faces. Now here I'm going to define an angle not of 12 but of 6, because 6 degree over here and 6 degree over here will result in a total value of 12. So here I'll click OK, and this is how exactly this particular part is going to look like. Now before we do any further design, any further modification to this particular design, let me add a fillet here, okay, to this part of radius 12. So let's try, or else what you can also do is, rather than adding a fillet there, you can simply create the recessed part first and then you can add a fillet. Now for doing that recessed part design, I'm going to select the plane on the side, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line starting right from here, from the top edge of the fillet. Okay, so starting right from here, going all the way to the top, I'm using project curve to create a projection of this arc as well as this line, so that I have a projection of the arc and the line as well. And now this extra portion which is going to go up, it's going to go up by 12. Okay, and there is nothing going on this side. Okay, now I'm going to click on offset. I'm going to choose connected curve over here. So I'm going to choose offset connected curve, and let's say I'm going to assume the thickness is going to be 5 mm. So here I'm creating an offset of 5. I'll click OK. And once the offset is ready, I am going to create a line over here like this, and I'll create a slant line like this. Okay, so it's collinear line. So now I'm going to use the trim tool to get rid of this extra part. Okay, you can also use a make corner tool. I'll click on finish. Okay, now first what I'll show you is the first thing which I'm going to show you is how to make this if you are using any other software other than NX. If you are using NX, then there will be a different benefit for you. So here, first of all, the technique which I'm going to show you is if you are using any other software, you follow this technique. So here I'm creating an extrude of 200 mm. Okay, it can be any way higher or lower. And here I'm starting a sketch on this plane. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line starting from here, finishing over here. And similarly, I'm going to create a closed shape out of it. So this is only if I don't know NX. Okay, I'm going to show you one more way. Just give me a minute. And here I'm going to click on mirror. I'll choose connected curve, select everything, and select this line as a reference. And here I'm going to click on mirror. Now basically, I'm going to make this and this line parallel to each other, so that I can clearly specify the distance over here of 12. Once I'm done with that, I just need to click on finish, and I just need to create an extrude which is having a cut on both the sides technically, and that will give me the recessed part. But I'm going to show you one more way, as I told you before. So if you are using NX, then what you can do is inside extrude, okay, you can have a small extrude of 20 or 30, whatever value you want. Just a small extrude of 20 or 30. It is not necessary that you have to define a proper value to it. Now I can use this command or this particular option called replace face inside synchronized modeling. Now once I click on replace face, I can select this face and I can replace that with this face. And you can see that this face is matching properly with that face. Now here I can also provide an offset of 12 so that it goes 12 mm further than that face. If I click apply, this is how it's going to look like. Similarly, I can do the similar thing over here. I can replace it with this one, and then I can provide an offset of 12 so that it goes even further. So this is how easy it is, if you are using NX to create this particular external part. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create an edge blend over here, okay, using tangent curve as a curve rule. So here I'm going to choose tangent curve, and this is the only reason I need to define the radius value first. So this is how the edge blend is going to look like. I'm going to click on add. I'll set the radius value to 24, and I'm going to select this edge, and this edge as well. And here now we have a radius value of 24 on the top edges. Okay, and don't worry about this face if you have any. Okay, so not a problem. If you can simply get rid of that face just by using replace. So you can simply replace, let's say this face over here and this face with this face, and that face, that division will go. Don't worry about it if it is bothering you. Okay, so technically it is all because of the replace face command. It has created an edge over there, but not a problem. And here I am going to create a fillet of radius 6. Okay, if you want to look where exactly the radius is given, you can see the radius is given right over here. Now we are almost done with the design. Okay, the only thing I have to add is few holes. Okay, but that I can do even after making the body hollow. So next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on making the body hollow. So for doing that, I'm going to click on shell, and here I'm going to define a thickness of 5, the same as what we have defined here. Here I'm going to select tangent face as a curve face selection rule, and then I'm going to select the back face and the front face in order to get rid of this extra faces. Okay, and what we can see here clearly is the entire output geometry. So this is how, again, I'll say shell is a very magical command, and technically you can do a lot of things with shell. Now here I'm selecting the middle plane and clicking on sketch. Okay, I want you to comment in the comment section below that what will happen if I select this face and create my sketch. Okay, I want to create these holes. Why can't I create a hole on this face itself? Why I have to choose a plane in the middle? Okay, I want you to comment the correct answer below. Now basically these two holes are of the same size. So these two holes are of 28. So I'm just going to simply make this circle equal to that one. So for doing that, I'm going to select the first circle, then I'm going to select the second circle and choose the equal constraint over here. And here I'm going to now define the diameter of those two circles is going to be 28. Now here I'll define the diameter of 28. Obviously things can go here and there, not a problem. I'll just drag it onto the face, okay, because there was a very major change in the diagram. So that is the reason things were like totally here and there. Now from the origin, this hole is 22 mm inside and 122 upward. So from the origin, this is going to be 22 inside and 122 upward. So here I'm going to define 122 upward. So the location of this hole is defined. I'll also define the size. The size of this hole is diameter 8. Okay. Then this location of this particular hole is 34 from the bottom, and this particular hole is 69 from the bottom and 95 from the side. So this is 34 from the bottom. So what I'll do over here is, first of all, I'll define the dimension from here to here. Okay, and then I'll define a dimension from here to here. So this is going to be 69, and make sure you don't define the dimension from the bottom point, define it from the top point. That will be easier. As we can see over here, this particular dimension is going to be 69 and this is going to be 95. So I just forgot to give that 95 over here. Now apart from that, we also need to define a distance between these two circles as 24. So here I'm going to define a distance between this circle and this circle as 24. And the distance in terms of height, okay, this one is, I guess I'm going to be 30 or something like that. I'll just check. It's going to be 34. So this distance is going to be 34. So I'll just define the value of 34. Now this was the last sketch. I'll click on finish. I'll click on extrude. And here I'll just choose symmetrical extrusion. And I'll click OK. And I'm good to go with this. Okay. So this is how you can make this particular part completely inside this particular software. Right from reading it to understanding it and to converting it into 3D. So I hope you like the video. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. And in this video, I have used a different mic setup. So let me know like how I sound in this video. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Have a great day ahead.